Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Rooted Home podcast. We are happy to have you here today. We want to launch into talking about health and wellness for our family. You can hear a million stories about different things on the internet. We're just focused on what we've done as a family, what we've seen that works and has blessed us.
Yep. And I do have a medical background, and
which is a huge blessing.
I am a nurse practitioner, not working or not practicing right now. But I will say, even with the training I've had, there was not a lot in nutrition. Really, honestly, it should be taught more. And
nutrition should be more foundational.
It should be way more foundational.
American health practice than what it is.
Right now, American health practice is mostly give you a pill and move on. And really, it should be, let's look at lifestyle and what are you putting in your body and what are these very basic things. It's way overlooked.
And we're just speaking broadly. Obviously, there's many good health practitioners that focus on those
things. Oh, yeah,
things,
totally. Yes.
At a high level,
I worked with some who were great.
From your own practice, there are some that do this, but there are a lot that don't. So the first question that we have for you as you're going into this episode is, do your choices support your goals? I think that's just a really good thing to be thinking about, because so many of the choices we make are just habits. We just do them by default. We don't actually think about, are we doing the things that support what we want out of life? So when it comes to nutrition, wellness, health, fitness, are the choices you're making day in, day out supporting your goals? Are your habits supporting your goals? And what could you easily change to support your goals for longevity, to be around for your kids and grandkids and be active with your kids and grandkids, to where they're not having to take care of you at a young age, but you're still able to help them, or whatever your long-term goals are for health and wellness. Do your choices support that?
I think it's very easy, especially in busy, since we're like, as a parent, you're in a very busy and full season of life, for those to get disconnected. Because of course, all of us would say we want to be around for our kids. And especially if we get hit with something that affects our health, sometimes we don't start thinking about that until that happens.
Right.
So I think we would all say, yes, we want to be there for our kids, and we would love to even be active grandparents. But so often that goal and that desire, there's a great disconnect with what we're actually doing every day. And that all adds up, for better or for worse.
It does. It compounds over years, positively or negatively. So we would say, if we could divide into kind of two sections for this episode, on the one hand, we'll talk about nutrition. On the other hand, we'll talk about exercise. We see nutrition as the far more foundational thing. You can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. You can't exercise your way into health if you're putting absolute crud into your body all the time, or even just mediocre food into your body all the time. If you don't have energy because the foods you're eating make you lethargic, where are you going to find energy to exercise and be active with your kids? Getting nutrition right is like putting the wind at your back for other things you want to do out of life. And those can be hard decisions to make sometimes, with making sure to put the right things in your body. But we would say nutrition is foundational. They're both, staying active is also very important, but you can't overcome bad diet with more exercise.
I would say it's 80% diet. If you're specifically thinking weight loss, and we're talking about overall health, but with weight loss, it's 80% diet for sure. But
you hear that?
Yeah, it is.
80%
At least
diet.
It used to be.
And that's huge to think about. So we want to go back. We're going to start with a story Lauren has, a pretty dramatic story from her 20s, where she made a big decision to start getting her nutrition right in her life, and the before and after effects in her life physically that she saw. So
yeah. And speaking of exercise, I was exercising like crazy then. I was doing CrossFit.
Okay.
And that's when I had started it. And then my body started shutting down. So I'm going to tell you, yeah. So I was in my mid-20s, and at some point, my body just went into shutdown mode. I had severe depression for no reason. It was just like my body was lethargic and depressed. my estrogen level was physically at menopausal levels. So my hormones were like I didn't just have hormone imbalance at this general, broad, vague sense of the word that like, I think a lot of people use that phrase. I literally had menopausal levels of estrogen in my 20s, which is probably why some of these other symptoms happened. But I had I could not go to the bathroom for a very long time. It was very bad. And then no period for 2 years. So my cycle completely stopped.
So not good.
No, my body, when I say my body was shutting down, it just felt like everything was literally shutting down. Like I felt awful. And so I went to some talk, and this guy, a chiropractor, the chiropractor was talking about basically whole food. The whole 30 was kind of a thing at that time. And so he gave a talk on nutrition. And so I just thought, okay, I'm going to do this for 30 days, whatever, just nothing but whole foods, no sugar. I cut it. I was like, I can do it for 30 days. And it was hard, but I did. And it jump started my body back. Like before, I don't know how long it took, but my period came back. My hormone levels went back to normal. I went back to normal eventually, like soon after that. And well, first of all, that experience did show me hormones are very real. Mm-hmm. But it also really demonstrated to me the power of nutrition. Like you really are what you eat. And I mean, if you think about it, so I've used this concept whenever I was explaining this to patients that I had. If you're taking a pill every day, this little tiny pill that has particles, pharmaceutical particles inside this tiny pill, and you swallow it, it's causing physiologic changes in your body from a pill. Imagine, take that and do that with food. If you're putting food and drink and different things into your body every single day, what do you think that it's doing to your body? For better or for worse, it's doing something. And food has the potential to be medicine, or it can be a detriment, food or drink, depending on what you're doing. So it was just a very powerful awakening of just the power of what you put in your body and how you can really steward your body that way. And I mean, at the time, I do remember, and I can't say that this is going to happen for everybody, but I had a friend who was struggling with infertility, and we talked about the Whole30, and we talked about the diet, and I told her how to do it. She did it, and then soon after that became pregnant with twins, and now they have 5 kids. But some of them are adopted. I don't know how many. It's just very powerful.
In retrospect, how poor would you say your diet was that was bringing you to that point? Like, was it really poor? Or was it just like middle of the road, average American?
I think it was just average American. I didn't eat awful, but I didn't eat super clean either. So there was some processed food. I think it accumulated over time. And before that, I definitely ate awful. I ate, the college diet. And I was not a Christian at the time, and I did not take care of my body. And so I'm sure it just accumulated over time, and eventually my body just said no more. And it's something, I don't know what tipped me over the edge, but yeah, at that time I was not eating awful. I was a Christian at that time when my body shut down. So I would like to think I wasn't destroying my body at that season.
I asked that just to illustrate that you can be eating, what you think is not a horrible diet, but your body is genuinely not getting the nutrients it needs to care for itself.
Mm-hmm.
And as Lauren's story illustrates, your body was made by God to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It can recover, heal, restore, very quickly, if it's given the right tools. You went through years of not caring and your body shutting down. And then as soon as your body got what it needed, within a couple of months, you sprung right back up.
And that is going to be so different for everybody.
It is.
But yeah. I mean, sometimes if it's just a matter of your body's starving and overstressed and overburdened with toxic materials, eventually your body shuts down. And your body doesn't shut down. I don't want to sound dramatic. Your adrenals start. You can go into adrenal fatigue. There are lots of different things that can lead to negative. That. It's a negative effect, and it's an accumulative effect, and eventually it catches up with you. I'm surprised to say that it happened in my 20s, but it did. So yeah.
So that's one story of just the significance of getting nutrition right. And like you said, CrossFit and you were doing CrossFit, what, like 5 days a week? More?
I didn't have any kids at the time,
yeah,
so
you
why
were
not?
Single, she was working out hard 5 days a week. Didn't matter if the nutrition's not right. And that can make it even worse, because if you're breaking your body down with exercise and then not giving it the tools to refuel and build back up, even that can cause problems as well.
Yeah, I don't think my body was ready for that kind of exercise at the time.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation.
So I would say that experience, was a huge blessing to our family in the long run, because even from, early in marriage, we were generally pretty healthy people.
Yeah.
You cooked very well. I'm a very blessed man.
I'm glad you thought so, because I didn't think I cooked very well at first.
I was a single guy, so I got an instant upgrade once I got married.
Yeah, so can I tell people
foods I was eating?
What you were eating? You were like, you got a cycle of pesto, chicken pasta.
Yeah.
What else?
Chicken salad, smoothies.
Pizza?
Yeah, there's pizza involved for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bar was low, you guys. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't that great of a cook at first.
It is for most single guys, probably, compared to getting married. But America's food supply is not good.
No.
It's nutrient deficient because of us growing food for, we try to accelerate and get the most yield of quantity of food we can out of the earth, which robs it of nutrients, robs the food of nutrients. The nutritional density of our food is not good.
Sorry, I just got distracted by the kids. Did you just talk about the soil?
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't know about that, I would Google it, or maybe not Google, I don't know. Look it up for yourself. The soil depletion is very real, and it's affecting the nutritional density of of produce. Anything that's grown in the ground, and especially in these mass-produced agricultural fields, they're zapped. I don't remember what I read, but it was like an orange from 50 years ago was exponentially more nutritionally dense than an orange today, just because of soil depletion.
Yep. So it can be actually quite hard to get the nutrition that you need just from foods, which will lead us into talking about nutritional supplements, which can be helpful. But it's still obviously better to be putting real foods in your body than processed junk that we call food. I'll be honest, nowadays I walk into the dollar store, depending on where I'm standing in the dollar store and just looking around at the quote unquote food aisles, my thought is I'm not looking at actual food anywhere.
No.
It's all processed carb nonsense. It is not nutritional. It gives you calories.
And inflammation.
But then you eat more because you're still hungry, because when your body is still nutritionally in a deficit, your body is still craving those nutrients. And so you want to eat more and eat more, which leads to more inflammation and obesity. And it's a bad cycle.
And if you're used to a lot of sugar, then sugar is addictive.
Sugar is addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get used to it and you expect it and crave it. You want the positive vibes it gives you, from eating it, however you want to describe it.
I mean, vibes, there's a lot of vibes with sugar.
All that to say, we were generally healthy people. And then after we got, 4 or 5 kids in the home, even though we were pretty healthy people, I thought, 6th season was the worst.
So bad.
Every time we would make social engagements in 6th season, late fall through the winter, it felt like every social engagement I made was a coin flip. We hope we can let's put it on the calendar and hope.
We'll probably cancel.
Yeah, odds are high that it will get canceled because someone's going to get sick.
Yeah.
Especially the boys with being up through the night, hacking and coughing. And I know a lot of people say that that's normal, but I don't have a historical baseline to know how normal that actually is, or if it's a more modern problem.
Well, I remember there was one year where it was like Thanksgiving weekend was when the sickness started, and we were sick for months. Yeah. Like it was back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
We were missing church. We were missing fellowship. I remember being so frustrated.
I was at my wit's end.
Yeah.
Like I was drinking like those like green powdery vegetable drinks. I was like
a lot of vitamin C from Amazon.
We took desserts out of the house.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be eating sugar that can hurt. We took beer out of the house. Like anything that could harm or like get in the way of my immune system being the best that it could.
We took elderberry syrup.
Syrup. Like, and there was very little that I felt made a dent in anything. Like,
no.
Just, I remember times of like Lauren asking me to get up at like 10:30 at night to go give the boys cough medicine. I'm just like,
why?
Not wanting to have an argument at 10:30 at night, but I'm also like, this is so pointless. Why am I doing this? Doesn't help. So anyway, I was willing to try anything to not be in that state anymore. So I have not historically been a big believer in nutritional supplements, but we had some friends that pointed us towards one particular brand, just to be frank, that we said, okay, we're going to give the kids, they recommended like a couple of different supplements from this company called Neolife that we could give our kids that would help with their immunity. So, and I was just like, okay, you're good friends. I'm going to give it a try.
Well, actually, we didn't do it right away. We were like, okay, never mind. No. And we just like, we'll just stick with elderberry syrup and echinacea. Yeah. And I had like things lined up. But our friends, another family started taking it, and they were sicker than we were.
Mm-hmm.
And they were worse off than we were, I feel like, which is hard. But
it's a low bar.
Completely changed them. Mm-hmm. Like their kids were healthy. They were vibrant. They stopped getting sick. It changed them for that sick season. And so the next year, that's when we decided to try it. Because
once we'd seen that testimonial of that contrast for them of one
we saw,
year to the next.
Yeah. We saw
I think you knew more about that than me because wives talk about
that. Because
husbands don't talk about these sort of things.
Well, yeah, they're like, oh, you're missing again. I'm so sorry. Or, oh, I miss you. I haven't seen you. So yeah, we did talk about it. And then they told us about it the next year. Like, yeah, we've been great now. This is what we take.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, that's what Nick and Lena told us about. So
and to bounce off of what you already had talked about with nutrition, like Neolife is literally just dense whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, there's nothing synthetic,
and it's organic.
It's all beyond organic. They have incredible chain of custody quality assurance. Like for the food, like the foods that they like from the farm, like to the processing.
It's highly regulated. So
high quality assurance. Like there's a very high standard they have of making sure that the food they put in their supplements maintains its potency, nutritional density, all that kind of stuff.
They test every single batch versus like however much less. Other nutritional companies test their stuff much less frequently than that.
Yeah.
So they're literally very meticulous about.
Yeah. But the main point I'm trying to make is like, it's literally just whole foods.
Yeah.
Like dense whole foods, nothing synthetic or like created in a lab. They literally are just taking whole foods and making them dense in a supplement for you to take.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still just food. It's like real food, but far more dense nutrition than you can actually get from
and
food.
Complete.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fish oil, a lot of fish oil supplements you'll take you don't have all of the different omegas. This one's literally all of the omegas they do their best to get the best quality and as complete as you can in every single. Yeah.
So this family went from, like you said, night and day.
Yeah.
So like, okay,
we witnessed it.
We're going to try that for our family. And we have this long history of our boys, especially just being up hacking and coughing through half of the winter.
Yeah.
We got to February, I think. And I remember like turning to you and saying like, what happened to 6C? Like our boys have not kept us up through the night this entire winter. hacking and coughing. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that we're not ever sick.
Right.
But the contrast was insane.
It was.
And like I said, we were not, when we first were told about it, we were both like, yeah, okay, that's nice. Because, another supplement, another thing we can try.
Nick and Lena's family is, you look at them, they're like generally very healthy, but it's probably because of what they take.
Because
but anyway,
they take Neolife. Now we know that.
But we didn't see a before and after with them. So I felt like, yeah.
So that was what happened with 6th season for our kids with that. And that just, again, highlights the importance of like what your body can do. Our kids weren't taking medicine. They were just getting the nutrition their body needed to have a robust immune system.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't, so when we say it was night and day, they didn't get sick as often, and then they didn't get sick as severely.
Mm-hmm.
And there are, just as a side note, there are things that, you can't work around, like mold. Like right lately, I think we've been battling it a little bit more because we have mold in our house that we're having to figure out. But before that, it's for the last few years, it's been night and day, generally speaking.
Yeah. So that's the kids. And so then last fall, you and I decided to do a health challenge where we did like no alcohol, no desserts, and we both were going to take Neolife's core. It's called their Core 3. It's just like their foundational nutritional package to get you the nutrition you need.
Because I felt awful at that time.
You felt awful at the time. I was more doing it with you. I didn't feel awful, but always about, trying to improve my health and support my wife. So
I keep bunking this, sorry.
We agreed to like a 3-month, do a health challenge for 3 months where we're taking the supplement package every single day, which is like multivitamins, very bioavailable protein drink, and probably the cleanest, best energy drink on the planet with all sorts of good stuff in it. So
caffeine from green tea.
Yeah, and other things in it. And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we decided, because I had just gotten back from hearing more from a couple of other people who more stories, basically, of how, for example, a woman had like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, debilitating symptoms. And again, she fueled her body with what it needed, and her symptoms diminished completely.
They're not there anymore.
They're not there anymore for whatever reason.
Maybe your body's made to heal itself.
Maybe you're made.
It has what it needs.
But anyway, I at that point was feeling very, very depleted after 3 miscarriages in a row, plus having another baby. So 4 pregnancies in 1.5 years. And my body was very depleted, and we didn't realize that was going to be the end of that. But I was feeling it, and I was ready. We wanted to do what we could to make me better. So we were going to commit to 90 days, and you were going to do it with me for support, even though you were fine for the most part.
Thought I was.
You thought you were? Yeah. Anyway, and it made a massive difference.
Yeah. For you?
Yeah. Well, by the end of it, you could see the color in my face. So anyway.
I would say you're much more vibrant.
Yeah.
So for me, like feeling like I'm a generally normal person at this point, I start doing this health challenge. And what you may not know about me is I play a lot of soccer. In my late 20s, I started having this problem. And I was 38 when I started this health challenge. But in my late 20s, I started having problems where I would get very sick after soccer games. I felt like it was dehydration, probably. Especially if I sweat a lot, then it was a hot day, I would get pretty sick after a game. And it would be like a 3-day recovery time, not from sickness necessarily, but till I felt like normal again.
And you had a really bad headache every single time.
That was part of it. Yeah. Bad headache, nausea, all this stuff. And it felt terrible. And so I would drink as much water as I could. I would
coconut water.
Well, I'll get there. Oh. So I would drink like Body Armor, Gatorade. I drank Pedialyte for a while, like just trying to get hydrated as best I could, and that wasn't cutting it. Coconut water helped a good amount. So if you're a heavy sweater and like try coconut water. Like it gets the electrolytes in you. Like it made a big difference for me just drinking straight coconut water.
I think it tastes awful.
But it was still like long recovery periods. And by the time I was like started this health challenge, I was down to like I could play like 50 or 60 minutes and then I would just be dragging. A soccer game is 90 minutes, a full one. I would just be dragging by like the 50th or 60th minute. And there's no point to me being out there at that point. And when it started in my late 20s, I felt like I'm too young for this to be happening. This sucks. So 3 weeks into the health challenge, not 3 months, 3 weeks into the health challenge, tell my wife I'm going to go play some pickup soccer. Like, all right. I played for 100 minutes and had not slowed down at that point. I only stopped because my family was expecting me back at home. I could have kept going. And I did not get sick after doing that. And I would say my recovery time and severity were both like cut in half. Probably. You still have to recover from a big workout like that. But previously,
it was night and day.
It was night and day. Previously, I had always felt like no matter how much I ate, my body was still craving things. I just couldn't get it what it needed. And I've found out that was true because now that I'm taking, this is not even like tweaked to like athletic performance, the supplements I was taking. This is just their general health package.
It just shows how depleted you were of.
Despite being having a wife who cooks healthy.
And at that time, I was making, what am I trying to say? Fresh milled bread. So you were getting the whole grains and you weren't getting the zapped of nutrients on the shelf grains.
Yeah.
I was cooking clean and
I was eating pretty clean.
At this point in our marriage, I think we eat pretty well comparatively, for sure.
And so that's what a big difference it made for someone who was already eating healthy.
Yeah.
And now I can, as long as I'm playing regularly, I can play soccer like I'm in my 20s again. And it feels amazing.
And you're almost 40.
I'm almost 40. I'm actually doing a physical challenge for my 40th birthday that I don't think I'd even be trying if I didn't know that I had the right nutritional support. Like, I don't think I'd be capable of it at all.
Babe, I think you should just tell them what you're doing. So that
I'm not going to, because I'm going to make sure that
you're kind of
I'm going to get closer to my birthday next April and make sure it's something that's actually achievable before I put it out there that I'm going to do it. My friends know.
Okay,
my friends know what I'm going for.
Stay tuned.
It's going to be an extensive outdoor physical challenge that I'm aiming for my 40th birthday.
That you may or may not.
What?
Nothing.
No, I'm going to do it unless something comes up.
No, I'm saying that you may or may not put on display.
Yeah, may or may not. And then, we'll see.
Okay.
So that's my story about how the right nutrition through dense whole foods, through what Neolife provides. And again, this is like what has helped our family beyond just the soccer stuff, like my brain fog at work. Like everyone get like mid-afternoon, you're like, slump. Do you hit? I do not have the same level of slump anymore. Other things like that are very, like, I feel like my body is far more resilient. Like when the kids get sick, I don't get sick nearly as often. I think that annoys Lauren sometimes. Like, why don't you get sick? Like, I'm feeling the best I have in a long time. So
I'm the weaker vessel, I guess.
Yeah. And to be honest, like this is for me, this is just my opinion, but you look back at even the genesis of creation. Adam and Eve are kicked out of the garden because of sin, and God essentially says we can't let them continue coming to the tree of life now that they've sinned, lest they live forever. And so they were kicked out of the garden. But in the garden, you had the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you had the tree of life. And from that narrative, it's pretty clear that eating from the tree of life is what allowed them to live forever. And to me, I read that as exactly what we're saying. Like our bodies were made by the Lord to recover, heal, restore, if given the right things. We do not have access to the tree of life anymore. Obviously, we're all going to die. But it's the principle of our bodies were made to do that based on what is put into our body. Like there's a healing element to our eating. Like you said, food is medicine.
Well, and Daniel, when he did his fast where he did not eat the king's all the things that
the king's meat.
He didn't eat the king's meat in the feast. He ate fruits and vegetables. And he was more vibrant than anybody and looked healthier than anybody.
In just 2 weeks. That was a 2-week challenge. It was a noticeable difference.
And in Revelation, I don't know if this is related, honestly. I'd have to look at the context of this passage. But a few times it's come to my mind recently of how the Lord says that it's the healing, the leaves of this tree are for the healing of the nations. So there's just there are a lot of winks in scripture or nods to food from the ground that can provide healing and vibrancy and health. And so anyway, I think that it's interesting how the Lord, there are things that come up in scripture that at the time they didn't really know that it was going to necessarily mean anything for health. They didn't always ask the Lord why. He just said, do this or don't do this. And he didn't always tell them why. And like, for example, circumcision on the 8th day, but he gives these guidelines and he shares, I don't know where I'm going with this.
You don't always know why the Lord's ways are best or what's going on behind the scenes. But then sometimes we learn more as humanity.
As we go.
And then we look back and are like, oh, if we had just followed the Lord's commands, we would have been doing it right the whole time. Yeah,
and it's not because we have to follow some kind of law or else it not in some legalistic sense. It's just more of like he's put it in there and we can adhere to it and so be blessed. Like if the Israelites would have circumcised their babies before day 8 just because they didn't understand why, we now know because of because of science that there's not an adequate level of vitamin K in the baby until day 8.
Yep.
And that causes clotting.
So this is just my opinion on it, and you have a medical background, so you can maybe speak to it a little bit better. But it seems like, just given what we've seen in our lives and what we've seen in friends' lives, that the more, like if you're having a health challenge of some kind in your life, maybe the thing that you should try first is to see if that's pointing to some sort of nutritional problem and making sure that that foundation is right. Because just like no amount of exercise can overcome poor diet, no amount of medical intervention can overcome poor diet either, or insufficient diet, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, functional medicine, that's kind of along the lines of functional medicine. If rather than slapping a Band-Aid on something or treating something with conventional medicine, which there is a place for it, I'm definitely I have the mindset of lifestyle and addressing the root cause, and there's a time and a place for conventional. But usually the go-to in conventional medicine is just to treat with a pill, but without looking at lifestyle. Or with only barely touching or scratching the surface. Like, okay, make sure your diet's okay. Okay, and sleep and exercise. It's almost like a passing comment in the room. So I do think there are a lot of different circumstances, a lot of different diagnoses, and a lot of different medical conditions that are going to warrant different approaches. But it is very, very important to look at your nutrition. A lot of us are depleted. We don't get outside. We lack vitamin D. A lot of us are depleted nutritionally because of processed foods. And then even if you're not eating processed foods, like we talked about earlier, even if you are eating clean, a lot of times our food is nutritionally depleted. So do your best, eat whole foods and look and consider your nutritional status. But, yeah, I would agree that that's it's a very important foundational piece. And, I mean, this is another, I don't want to go into this here, but we have seen significant illnesses, be healed from nutrition.
Or the symptoms go away.
No, I'm talking about not talking neo-life. I'm talking about addressing lifestyle and diet. And I'm not advocating this for anything. This is not medical advice. But we've seen.
We're talking about our stories.
We're talking about our stories
and about our stories.
Tiana's brother, like he had melanoma, and metastatic melanoma. He took sugar out of his diet and a lot of
he did drastic dietary
very drastic dietary things, and I don't even know everything he did, but he has no more melanoma.
Yeah.
And so I would just say it is not insignificant. It's very significant to look at your nutrition and remember that, food is medicine.
And remember that this speaks not just to the power, not really to the power of food, but to the power of your body.
Yeah.
And what it can do in terms of healing itself and fighting off sickness.
Yeah. What God designed it to do.
What God designed it to do if it's given the tools to do it.
Yeah. And of course, we are post-fall, and so there is we can't fix everything. We're going to die. We are going to age. You can't prevent that, but you can set yourself up for
you can steward the body you've been given very well.
You can. Yeah. And you can equip it to heal itself. And even if you do needed some conventional medicine too, you ought to also, the foundation ought to be there of stewarding your body and see what it can do when given the proper tools. So
would it be safe to say if conventional medicine is needed, is helpful in a certain case, it's only going to be helped in its effectiveness if the nutritional foundation is there?
Oh, totally. I mean, I'm thinking even diabetes. If your pancreas has gone kaput and you need insulin shots, it's not, you're going to have to take a whole lot more insulin if you're eating cake, versus if you're eating healthy, you're putting good foods in your body, you're avoiding all of the complex the simple carbs and the sugars. It's going to help the insulin do its job. Mm-hmm. But you're going to be fighting an uphill battle if you're having to take these extra meds and then you're not willing to also take care of your body. So if you've got lung cancer, but you keep smoking and yet you're going to chemo, you're fighting an uphill battle. Versus if you cut out the thing cut out the offender, then it's the conventional medicine and whatever you do is just going to go a lot further.
Yeah.
So
we think this stuff is important enough that we've actually put together a separate section of your website to talk about some of this stuff. So if you want more information, want to do your own deep dive on things, we've tried to put together a whole bunch of information that we hope will be helpful to you guys. So we'll link that in the show notes below, so you can know where that is, look at it. The good thing about Neolife is they publish so much research that you can as high or as deep or not deep as you want to go in looking into your own stuff in regards to that. They've got it there for you. Incredible transparency. So I know I'm someone who loves.
They've been around for what, 75 years?
Almost 70 years.
Yeah,
they've been a company.
I think the guy who invented oral chemotherapy,
I think that's right,
saw that he didn't like the effects of oral. He didn't like that people were continuing to be sick, and so he veered off and created this company. He wanted to find a way to make people healthy. Not just cure cancer. So, or not cure cancer.
It has some very smart,
you know what I mean?
Roots in its founding for sure.
Yes. Harvard, I think, is from where he's from. But anyway, I do want to reiterate though that none of this is medical advice.
Nope.
You need to seek your own, you need to do your own deep dives. You need to
do your own research, talk with your own
medical provider. Yeah. So do not consider this to be any
These are
of
our
that.
anecdotes.
These are our anecdotes, our story, and what we've seen and witnessed ourselves. So
good stuff. So with that, I think that the second prong of what we wanted to talk about is just in general staying active, because
as a family,
yes, but also just in general, the modern life is incredibly sedentary in nature. I've heard the phrase many times, sitting is the new smoking. You can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. You can't exercise enough to overcome sitting 10 hours a day if you have a desk job. The amount of exercise and physical activity that used to be just built into the normal rhythms of life doesn't exist anymore. And there's we heard a really good talk about this at a conference a few months ago, just about how if we want America to be healthier, we would really have to find a way for the need for physical activity to exist in our lives in a way that it doesn't right now. And so part of being able to be an active grandparent is not slowing down in the first place, not growing sedentary to where your joints ache and all that stuff. So, what are some of the things that we do that or we try and gear our family towards to make sure that that's something that is a part of our like family lifestyle?
Well, I think with our kids, it's the environment set up, I think, because if there's a thunder, hopefully the kids are inside.
I heard them.
They would definitely come inside if they heard that. If you don't give them iPads and if they're not expecting a screen, our kids are very imaginative, and they're basically, we let them kind of, when they have free play, they want to go outside or they're downstairs and playing dolls or something. But if you're setting up the environment to where they're going to want to go play, I think that helps. And for you and I, we have to be very intentional.
Yes. So with the kids, giving them lots of ability to play outside, providing bikes, rollerblades,
sticks,
trampoline, sticks, getting them outside, having that be what the waters they're swimming in instead of swimming in the waters of inactivity is good. But then, you and me having exercise equipment at the house is a big deal because we don't have to go somewhere. Yeah, we don't have time.
No more CrossFit gym for me.
We don't have time. Sometimes it's a money thing, but it's definitely a time thing.
Yeah.
You need to be able to capture the moments that you have to get exercise in if you're wanting to do more than just play with the kids. And as our kids get older, obviously I'm hoping that there's hiking, biking, that the things that they can do with us that we can do as a family will grow. Right now, if we go to the park or something, it's usually like, they might be on their bikes, so they might be doing something, but we're walking or running.
Or I'm with the baby.
Or you're with the baby.
With babies.
Just for your season of life, it can look very different. But the importance of showing up, I think, is important. Like if you go back to the question of do your choices support your goals, just showing up for physical activity on a day in, day out basis, that habit has very important returns over the long run, as opposed to just saying, I'm just not in a season when working out works for me.
Yeah, especially if you have in your mind that working out has to be an hour-long workout at the gym. But if you just show up like the other morning for just a few minutes just to get your blood flowing, you just show up every single day or how consistently, even if it's not every day, for 5 minutes and then increase it over time as you can, then you become a healthy or you become an active person.
And what you said about environment, I think is helpful because like for my work, I'm working at home or at the office, I have a standing desk. I'm not going to sit 9-10 hours a day. I know how bad that is for me. I'm going to get up, I'm going to be standing, walk around. The environment you choose to put yourself in goes a long way and can work for you or work against you.
Our kids actually, so when they see us work out, they want to work out too. Sometimes I usually try to work out before they're awake, but they know mommy and daddy are active. And so I found last year, I don't know if we'll do it this year, but before we got our school day going, they would go do the kid workout in the basement and they loved it. All 4 of them would do these body weight exercises from a guy on YouTube who is like another kid teaching the kids how to do their workout. I can try to link it down below. Not all of their videos are some of their videos are a little busy, but I can link a couple of the playlists that they enjoyed. They ask for it, and it gets some of their energy out before they're sitting down for a little while at the school table. So
that's good. So, I think one other thought just on staying active is just, I guess maybe just reiterating, showing up. You need systems, not inspiration. When you're in a young kid phase of life, you're not often going to feel inspired to work out. And you just need to move your body that direction. You need to remember that your mood follows your choices. If you wait until your mood wants to go work out, that's not going to happen. There are so many things we need to do in life that we need to remember If we move our body in that direction and ignore our mood will follow.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let your mood keep you from exercising. If you just start, your mood will improve.
Yeah. Most always afterwards, you're glad you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless you like hurt yourself or something. But usually the endorphins are flowing and usually I'm in a better mood. It sets the day off.
Yeah.
Or sets the day out in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. It gets some momentum going.
It does. Gets the endorphins flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. All right. Anything else?
That's the last thing I would say. If you're a guy and you really want to stay in good shape, just find an activity you enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Like anything.
I forgot about that.
Anything that's active that you enjoy, just go do that thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Like it can be like I run the gamut, right? So I'll go play soccer and be happy, intense stuff, or I'll go play pickleball and be happy, not so intense stuff. But like the important thing is having active things that you enjoy doing, because you will go harder and longer and it will be much better for you physically.
At some point, we should do pickleball date, because I've never played pickleball.
It's super fun.
You would kill me. He's so good at pickleball, apparently.
Well, I played tennis a lot when I was younger, and that translates very well to pickleball, at least initially.
Yeah.
But then when you get with like real pickleball players, they just want to like get to the kitchen and dink and stuff, and that's not the same. And you don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. And I was
if
just
there's
pretending
any
I did.
pickleball people listening, they know what I'm talking about. I love playing singles, not doubles, because it's more like tennis to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Thank you for working with me on that.
Okay.
But you find any activity that you enjoy doing, because you'll be more likely to do it, and you'll do it more often, and you'll do it for longer. All these are good things.
Especially if you're taking the core 3.
And if you have the nutritional backing
it helps.
It helps you go harder and longer, which is even better for your body, and you get the compounding benefits of that.
Yeah.
So put the wind at your back with nutrition and go be active.
And women, find a friend and go on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always enjoyable. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, getting some good fellowship time, and walk, and find a friend who can walk really fast.
Keep you going.
My friend Diane can walk faster. I'm always having to keep up with her. I don't know how she walks so fast. But anyway, I know if I'm going to go on a walk with her, I'm going to break a sweat and get a good conversation. It's the best. So find a friend like that.
And to that point, the benefits of even doing something like walking is severely underrated. Like,
oh, yeah.
I think 10 years ago, I'd have been like, a walk. Like, I may as well just sit home. Nope. Wrong. Nope. Go for a walk.
Sally Clarkson talks about how she goes on a walk every day. I think she walks like, well, I'm going to botch this. It's been a long time since I've listened to her talk about it, but maybe a mile a day or something like that, or maybe more. Anyway, it's powerful. It's good for you.
I have a weight vest. I've started throwing my weight vest on and walking around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So weight vests, good for you.
There was an old guy for years and years and years. There's this, sorry, this is a side track. I don't want to go too far down it. So
no, go ahead. We're at the end of the episode anyway.
Okay. What?
We're at the end of the episode anyway.
Okay. Anyway, there's this old man that used to walk. I don't know he was military or what, but every day for years. And anytime I'd go in that neighborhood to go on a run or a walk, he would be there with his weight vest, pumping up. That means 6 miles to go back and forth total. And for years he would walk this trail anyway, and so you remind me of him now, but you're not as old as he is, but hopefully
we have a good hilly neighborhood. So.
Yeah, it's not as hilly as that one though. Sequoia Hills, good one.
Yeah, it depends on which section you're on, but yeah.
Anyway, stay active, stay in school, eat your vegetables.
Check out the website we made if you want more information. Hopefully it's helpful to you guys.
Yeah. And
we've hit the high points, I think.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, if this has been a blessing to you, if you are enjoying listening to our podcast, please do leave a rating or a review. I'm used to saying like and subscribe on YouTube, but on Apple or Spotify, that will help get the word out about the Rooted Home podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we will see you in the next one.
See you guys.